No, that's fantastic. So you run out a brain scan, figure out where they're low at different things, different chemicals, and
just get set up here. So at the start.
So in layman, we're doing something else.
No, it's a clinical diagnosis. Brain scans are not that easy to do right now. Not because the mind just doesn't the brain first. So there's very small issues where you want a brain scan, but more so maybe lab testing and stuff like that. It's still pretty much talking to the person, understanding what's the function and what's going on in the mind. The core stuff and stuff like that. So, nothing gets talked about. I like it.
Jersey beef. Looking good, bro. Like a haircut.
Thank you. Running track long over there.
I've got some snacks over here on the table too, but help yourself anything up here. You okay?
Yeah. Well, welcome. It's a little warmer here. Accent's not quite the same.
Yeah, this past week's been a little.
Yeah. Yes.
Now Texas just likes to put it in weird weeks.
What's up, bro? What's up, man? I got the paradigms from our conversation yesterday. Yeah, I love them. I ran in them this morning. I've had a few pair before, but I figured for tomorrow I should probably be on the.
Y'all having a fun meeting without me?
No, you're welcome. Look, we've got all the stuff right here ready for you guys. We got.
Oh, this is the mastermind.
Yeah, you guys are welcome to.
This is the thing that they do post on the board.
I know the screen. Your brilliant idea.
When's the next one?
So we do them every other week.
Every other week. So
Okay.
2 weeks from now. 2 Fridays from now. Okay.
Yeah, I'll work on helping scrape some of the emails that we can collectively
Well,
share.
if you send it to Carla or whoever is here,
Uh-huh.
they should be able to pump it out.
Okay, that's a good idea. We'll do that next time. Yeah. Thanks, man.
A 4-hour span equals 80 to 30. Like I was outside when the cold front moved in and it just literally dropped 20 degrees. I was like outside without a coat. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, never mind. So that's Texas.
All right, guys. Well, we had several RSVPs. Hopefully, some more people will show up. If not, we'll have an awesome time with a few of us here. So thank you guys for showing up. We are going to go through some really fun stuff today. Before we get started, I'm just going to pass this around. We're just going to do a quick intro so everyone can know who's in the room. If you just want to give your name, your business name, and let's talk about who your dream customer is.
Okay.
So we'll start over here. Just pass this little weird looking thing around.
Got a mouthful of snack mix. So, my name is Michael Roth. I am self-employed right now, looking to actually start under a business name, but I'm not sure yet. But my dream client is somebody who is looking for how to tell their story and maybe feeling a little bit intimidated by it. There you go. Thank you. You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Mendenhall, integrative psychiatrist, sports psychiatrist with MindForge Psychiatry. And my dream client would really be a mindset of an individual who's goal-focused, who's looking for resiliency and strength-based approach to anxiety, depression, ADHD, any trouble with the mind, repeated problems, patterns that they're having, that wants an integrative approach.
Hello, I'm Leah Mendenhall. I'm the practice manager for MindForge Psychiatry, also married to Dr. Mendenhall over here. So I'm here just to support and help out any way that I can, and ditto what he said.
Awesome.
My name is William. I'm with Buzzcutters Landscaping. We're a full service outdoor solution company. I would say our dream client is somebody who's got a budget in mind and is looking to achieve functionality and aesthetics within their outdoor living space.
How are you? My name is Anthony Valinsky. I'm representing Victory Fit and also Built to Endure Performance Nutrition and Coaching. My ideal client is someone who is willing to make radical changes to get where they need to be, and I'm there to help you along the way.
David Adams, certified high performance coach. And my ideal client is really, you're looking at people who are ultra successful at what they do, but they're also in transition. They've forgotten themselves along the way. They haven't really maybe done all the things for themselves that they need to do. And yet they've been ultra successful, just not maybe in their personal lives. So that's where a lot of life coaching as well as business coaching comes in.
Awesome. Cool, guys. So very, very unique individuals in the room. So glad to have you all here. And you're just in time. You get to be on camera. We'll let you sit down first. And then you get to tell us your business name and who your dream customer is. Yep. So we're going to give you this little fluffy microphone thing to talk into right here. There you go. A good way to welcome yourself into the group.
I am Shanae Silvertooth with Precision Realty Group, JPAR Real Estate, and my ideal client is preferably someone looking to sell and downsize or want to upgrade their home and need a little more space. That's me.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, today we're going to be talking about brand building, which I'm really excited to talk about. And it does have to do with all things like storytelling and messaging. And some of you, we've had conversations about this and talked about this. So I think this will be a really good time to kind of go a little bit deeper. And I'm going to plug in my laptop here so it does not die. Whoops. And then we will get rocking and rolling.
Love when a room has plugs on two walls.
What's that?
I love when a room has plugs on two walls.
Yeah, I might scoot this out a little bit, David. Make sure your phone doesn't come with it. We'll have to get creative here. All right. Okay, so first off, if you haven't joined our community yet, it's just an online community. We have several entrepreneurs in there. It's just like chat and discussion and some replay videos. So if you guys are interested in that, you can go to joinbam.co. And we've been doing BAM for a few years now. So this is kind of the culmination of just some past replays and just a neat community we've built on there. So recommend you guys joining that, being a part of that group. And so we're going to be talking about brand building today, which is the journey of transforming from a traditional business mindset to a brand-centric approach. And I know a lot of times when we think about our business, we think about like the products and services we sell, and we don't really think about the brand that we are creating. And I know we had a conversation about this yesterday in our meeting, but when you think about a brand, usually with a brand that you like, you're going to be able to, you're going to pay more for it. You're going to enjoy it more. You follow it, and there's an emotional connection to that brand, right? It's the clothes that we wear. It's the cars that we drive. It's the services that we're loyal to. And it doesn't matter if they change a couple things. We know that they are for us, and we've pledged our allegiance to that brand. Therefore, we'll go to great lengths to continue buying things from them. Can everybody think of like maybe a brand that they've done that with?
Ford.
What's that?
Ford trucks.
Ford Trucks. There you go.
Not Ford trucks.
Not Ford Trucks. There you go. What else? Starbucks. Yep. Heinz ketchup. Yeah. Apple. Yep. Absolutely. Anybody? What's that? Garmin. Yep. Nike. Uh-huh. What is HEB? Okay. Yes. Yeah.
I'm going Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's. Mm-hmm. True Texan right there. Yeah. So think about how fast you guys spurted those out. I didn't ask you for what company do you support. I didn't ask what service you enjoy the most. I asked you what brand pops in your mind. When we talked about emotional connections, paying more for things because you're loyal to that brand, right? We pay more for Starbucks, pay more for Nike, pay more for Ford, pay more towards all these brands because we've aligned with their values. And it answers the question, am I the kind of person that buys from this kind of company? And sometimes it's to our own fault, right? We pay way more than maybe we could because we love that brand and we know that they are making stuff for us. So the real question is, how do we turn our business, product, service into a brand? And that doesn't mean that you have to be a worldwide, global, billion-dollar company. You can still have a small, local company, but you can create a following and you can create synergy that makes people associate you with a brand, right? So it's like, I will give you my money to take care of my lawn and landscaping because you've done such a great job. It's how I think and feel about what you guys do that I'm willing to continue to pay these prices to get this quality of work. And now I've positioned myself to you or to any of your companies. Does that make sense? So we're going to go through a little bit of that today and what that looks like. And so the power of branding, it's like, why do we do branding? So it's more than just a logo. How many of you guys, when I said brand, immediately thought of just, oh, that's a logo for my company? It's okay if you did. A lot of people do. But it's more than just your logo. If I said, hey, you have to rebrand yourself, like if I was talking to David Adams and his high performance coaching, and we said, hey, we need a rebrand, that doesn't mean, oh, we need to make a new graphic design logo. That means we need to create a new perception about how people think about your service, right? So it creates differentiation. So it sets you apart from competitors. It creates an emotional connection. So brands that resonate emotionally with their audience fosters loyalty. And just remember that people don't just buy products, that they buy into your brand story, right? So I'm going to pick on David for a minute because we're both clients of each other. But if David, like when I first met him, he's the high performance coach, and I read and subscribe to Brendan Burchard, who's a high performance coach. And when he introduced himself to me, he said, I am a high performance coach, and I immediately knew what that meant. I knew the person he was aligned with. And so without even really knowing a whole lot about David Adams himself, which I then got to know, I was already 50% sold. And like, oh man, if you are using his stuff, like I'm already a huge fan, so I'm your guy. And it didn't take long for me to realize that not only was I, Brendan Burchard fan of his brand, but now fan of David Adams' brand, and there's full alignment. So that's another way to think about it too. And there's full alignment with you and what you're doing or what you're leveraging that people are already used to subscribing to. That's an easy way to get there a little bit faster. For Anthony over here, right, at Victory Fit, he sells brands that people already love. He sells like Bear Performance Nutrition. He sells these things that not everybody knows about, but it's like, if you know, you know. So it's like, oh man, if you are selling this kind of stuff, I want to give my business to you, because that's the kind of stuff that I'm used to taking, and I'd rather give my business to you. So really important to think about that for your business. Think about, how are you emotionally connecting to those people? Again, it's not just the race to the bottom. Nobody in this room wants to be on the race to the bottom. How can we give the most amount of value for the lowest amount of cost and always be fighting that, right? Anybody here want that for their business? No. It's all about, how can we create so much value and so much trust that people will gladly give you whatever you're asking for, because you're giving more in value and you're not trying to race to the bottom of the cheapest. So I'm guessing for all you guys in here, people that pay you the least, they probably demand the most, and they're not your best clients. All in favor? Yes. That story never ends, by the way. That is true for everybody. So this is going to be a fun exercise, and I am so sorry I don't have papers for everyone to write on. So hopefully you guys all have some sort of note takers, or maybe your phone. But have you guys ever heard of the 12 brand archetypes before? No? Okay, I'm so excited to get to introduce this to you. So there's 12 specific archetypes, and I'm going to go through each of those quickly. And what I'd like for you to do is write down the top 3 that you think your brand might be. I'm going to show you examples of what brands fall into these categories. And why are we doing this? And why is this helpful? Well, it's because once you figure out what your brand archetype is, that helps you understand your voice, your tone, your posture, right? We mentioned Starbucks. Think about Starbucks versus Black Rifle Coffee Company, right? At the end of the day, what do they serve? Coffee. They kind of serve the same thing. They do pastries and coffee, but how different are those brands, right? What they stand for, who they serve, what the feeling is when you step in there, what the status is when you're carrying a Starbucks versus a Black Rifle. Polarizing difference. That's a brand archetype, right? They're standing for something. And are they for everybody? No, they're not for everybody, and that's okay, right? But if you see someone else that has Black Rifle and you're a Black Rifle guy, there's that camaraderie, right? That's branding. You know, a lot of us in here are part of a group called F3. It stands for Fitness, Fellowship, and Faith. It's an all-free men's outdoor workout group. We're the crazy guys that get up at 4 something or 5 something in the morning and go outside and do hard things. When we see people in the airport or different places in the country or locally, and we're wearing that F3 badge, that's the brand of brotherhood. And we know, like, hey, you are like me. There's things that we share, and there's immediate connection, right? That's brand. Okay, so is everybody ready? Look at some of these archetypes.
Let's do it.
All right. So, and this is a lot to take in, so I'm just going to hit this quick and we'll go into details. So every brand stands for one of these 4 things. You're either leaving a legacy, pursuing connection, providing structure, or exploring spirituality. Those are like the 4 core tenets of brand. Outside of that, like for leaving legacy, you have liberation, power, and mastery. For pursuing connection, you have intimacy, enjoyment, belonging. For providing structure, you have service, control, and innovation. In exploring spirituality, you have safety, understanding, and freedom. So we're going to go through quickly like each of these, and they all have fun names. So you could walk out of here today and be like, you know what? I'm the outlaw brand, or I'm the everyman brand, right? So I want you to at least be able to walk out of here and have an idea of what your brand stands for. So the first one, this is fun, is the outlaw brand. This is examples like Virgin, Harley-Davidson, Diesel. They're a little bit rebellious. Their messages are rules are made to be broken. They're disruptive, rebellious, combative. What drives them is liberation, change, righteousness, revenge, and independence. What they fear is servitude, conformity, complacency, acceptance, and dependence. And their strategy is denouncing the status quo and disrupting and shocking people. And again, it's that idea, yeah, like Badass Foundation with Dale over here. You guys think he might be an outlaw brand? Is that a little bit disruptive? I think so. So again, this is not for everybody, but when you see like the Virgin or Harley-Davidson or Diesel or, you know, Badass Foundation, they're disrupting the status quo a little bit. They're a little polarizing and they're challenging to the status quo. So that's number 1, is the outlaw brand. Number 2 is the power brand. This is called the magician. They stand for power. So the magician is like Coca-Cola, Disney, Dyson. They're mystical, informed, and reassuring. Their drives are transformation, knowledge, vision, belief, and discovery. What they fear the most is consequences, stagnation, ignorance, doubt, and uncertainty. And their strategy is develop a vision and live by it, and transformation. Right? So Disney is an easy one. Any other magician brands that you guys can think of that stand for some of these things?
Even your Growth Day brand.
What's that?
Your Growth Day brand. Brendan's brand.
Growth Day, absolutely.
Is along those lines. So is Tony Robbins' brand.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Transformation. That's kind of too like when it's like, hey, we know this is your hell and this is what it could look like, and we're going to be your bridge. It's the transformational brand, is the magician. Okay, next up, we have the hero brand, where there's a will, there's a way. Honest, candid, brave. Adidas, Nike, FedEx, which I know FedEx seems a little bit weird to be in there, but it's just a different type of industry that carries that same banner. What drives them is mastery, courageousness, growth, development, defense. What they fear is incompetence, cowardice, deterioration, downfall, and capability. Their strategy is to become stronger and better and prove people wrong. Right? The big one that we all know is obviously the Nike, like just do it. That is the hero. Any other brands you can think of that might be a good hero brand?
That sounds like Southwest.
Yeah, a little bit of Southwest. Yeah.
I think they could qualify under multiple, but
I think you're
has
right.
that sense of it.
Yep, I think you're right. All right, the next one is the Lover brand. I don't know if any of us in here will fall in this category. Sensual, empathetic, soothing. Alfa Romeo, Chanel, Victoria's Secret. Sensuality, closeness, indulgence, affection, love is what drives them. They fear rejection, loneliness, isolation, invisibility, and contempt. Their strategy is to reaffirm beauty and give people the red carpet treatment.
Victoria has no secrets.
No?
Doesn't keep them.
No more secrets. And this one might be a little bit of Southwest too. This is the Jester brand. So brands like, we've all seen the funny Dollar Shave Club video. It's been viral forever, right? Dollar Shave Club. We got the funny Old Spice commercials with the guy's toupee that like walks across the table. There's all the funny stuff. M&Ms. So these are just overly fun. So it's fun-loving, playful, optimistic. Their brand message is, we're here for a short time, not for a long time. Let your hair down, start living life. Their drives are fun, happiness, laughter, togetherness, positivity. They fear boredom, gloom, sadness, loneliness, negativity. The strategy is to promote good times and make them laugh. We all need this every once in a while, right? These are kind of fun to see. What's really interesting, so as I'm going through these, think about like these brands right here. This is a piece of chocolate. This is a like deodorant aftershave company. And this is a razor. Like these are the most boring, could be the race to the bottom brands, but because they've decided to build a brand and not just build a product, they're now household names. And now when people think of Dollar Shave Club, they almost immediately think of what? That really funny viral video. When people think of Old Spice, they think of the guy on the white horse by the beach, you know? So they have completely changed the way that we think about really boring products. So this is a good wake-up call too. If we think we have like kind of a boring product or a boring service, just remember these most boring of all brands have the most memorable messages that actually make us laugh and smile. Who would have thought a razor company would have such a viral commercial that's been, how long ago was that made?
20 years ago now, almost 15 maybe.
15 years ago. You guys have all seen that video, Dollar Shave Club? Okay, if you haven't, please do me a favor. As soon as this is over, go to YouTube and type in the Dollar Shave Club video. It'll be a great start to your weekend. Okay, next one up is we have the Everyman. IKEA, Target, Lynx. Friendly, humble, authentic. When we treat each other with honesty and friendliness, we can live together in harmony. The drive here is connection, togetherness, equality, fellowship, and inclusion. Their fear is exclusion, standing out, isolation, hostility, disassociation. The strategy is to align with basic values and create a welcoming community. You're just like me, I'm just like you. Any other Everyman brands you guys can think of? Walmart, yeah. Do you guys think an Everyman brand, would you say most companies that you know are that you're thinking of fall in a specific category, or do you think all of them are more like Everyman and more general?
Well, it varies. For sure.
Varies.
Well, if I'm looking at your business, that is very specific. Nothing general about it.
Yeah.
The Badass Foundation, it's very specific. Nothing general about it.
That's right.
With what you do, it's not. That's very specific stuff. It's not. It's and I think the more niche we become, the more effective we are with our marketing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the exact point I was trying to drive home. And thank you for teeing that up, because that's exactly right. Guys, the more laser focused and niche you can be on like your dream client and problem, you don't want to be the general. You do want to be the specialist. Sorry, let me turn this off. It's always exciting when your browser rings. Yeah, but if you think about like the heart surgeon is the specialist, the general practitioner is the generalist. Who gets paid more? The specialist, right? They get sought after. When someone has a heart problem, they don't go to their family doctor. They go to these specialists, and they get paid way more, and they get actually sought out. So when you can become the specialist, right? And again, picking on David again, I've worked with a lot of business coaches, but what made me really excited to work with David is like, he's the specialist on high performance coaching with Brendan Burchard. I'm like, I'm literally using the high performance planner from Brendan Burchard. Like, you need to be my coach, right? It's that specialist approach. So let's all be thinking about that too with your business as we're going through this. All right, then we have the caregiver. Tom's, WWF, UNICEF. This is caring, warm, and reassuring. Love your neighbor as yourself. Everyone deserves care, and we must all strive to bestow service upon one another. So sweet. The drive is support, help, service, recognition, gratitude. Their fear is anguish, helplessness, ingratitude, neglect, and blame. Their strategy is others before self, and the greater good is worth sacrifice. That is the caregiver brand. And then we've got the ruler, Louis Vuitton, Mercedes-Benz, Rolex. Commanding, refined, articulate. You are successful in work and in life. Reward your excellence and your achievements. Power isn't everything, it's the only thing. So their driving force is power, prosperity, status, success, and wealth. Their fear is weakness, insignificance, failure, poverty, and destitution. And their strategy is exerting leadership and demonstrating superiority. What's another ruler brand? Who else can you think of that might fit in this category? What's that? Bentley. Oh, Bentley. Yep. Yep. You drive a Bentley by any chance? No? I follow one to my kid's school every once in a while. I'm like, who is driving that thing?
Bentley, Jaguar,
Mm-hmm.
some of the Ferrari.
Yeah, a lot of the luxury big brands. And it's easy to think of the car brands, right? Because they're the ones that usually fit in that control.
Not Lexus, though.
That's true.
I want to say not, yeah. I want to say they do.
Yeah.
Tesla.
Yeah, possibly Tesla. I think Tesla is maybe even more in the Lexus category now, where it's almost like an everyman slash. It's like an everyman. It used to be the ruler brand, and now it's kind of coming a little bit more into everyman.
It's a broad statement, actually.
What's that?
Driving a Tesla is you're making a public statement.
Yeah, I think it used to be. I think it's more common now, unless you have a Cybertruck. Then it's a little more shocking. That's a whole different topic. Okay, so the next one is the creator. If it can be imagined, it can be created. So Lego, Apple, Adobe, inspirational, daring, provocative. They see potential everywhere and uncover originality with liberated imagination. Their drive is creation, originality, self-expression, vision, imagination. They fear stagnation, duplication, familiarity, disillusion, and indifference. Their strategy is to inspire, to unlock imagination, and encourage the pursuit of originality. And I think Apple does such a great job of this. I mean, Lego too, but they've stood the test of time, right? When Apple came out, all the other computer companies were going after the tech specs, right? It was how many gigabytes or how many megabytes, and look at our hardware. And Apple was like, do you remember what they said when they first introduced the iPod? Do you remember what they said? They didn't say how many megabytes it was. They said, put 1,000 songs in your pocket. That was it. They had like Microsoft Zune, I think. And it was like, hey, we've got 64 gigabytes and all these technical specs. And all Apple said was like 1,000 songs in your pocket. And who won the game? Do you still see Microsoft Zune around anymore? Have you guys even heard of Microsoft Zune? Did you guys know that was a thing? There you go. So they challenged people to think different, and they got so bold whenever they took their first ad out in the paper. It literally just had that. It just said, think different. When they bought billboards, it just said, think different. Every other technical computer company, they all did the same thing. They were fighting. It's called the blue ocean strategy. The red ocean is all the fighting down here in the corner, right? It's like, we've got a little bit more. We're a little bit better, faster, cheaper. And Apple was like, forget you guys, like 1,000 songs in your pocket, or think different. They were calling out their tribe. If you're the kind of person that resonates with this, we might have a product for you. And did it work? Yeah. How many of you have iPhones in here or some sort of Apple product? Almost everybody.
I'm carrying 2 right now.
There you go. Yeah. Like, crazy to think that it was just a computer company. And now they've turned into like a lifestyle brand and a status symbol and a statement and all those other things. Any other creator brands that you guys can think of? Amazon? Yeah. Yeah, I'd say Canva. You guys have used Canva, right? It's like if you can think it, you can do it. And they keep taking market share from actually poor Adobe over here. I mean, I was trained traditionally as a graphic designer, web designer, so whole Adobe suite, you might have been the same.
Well, I mean, not trained, but yeah, Adobe deserves everything they're getting right now, though.
Yeah.
They do not adapt.
Yeah.
So
And that's what happens, right? You get like AI and web-based tools, and then you have these older ones that have been around forever. But now Canva, it's like, hey, anyone can do this. And it took me a second to get behind it because I was like, man, I used to have to go, if I needed to cut out a person from a background, I had to get the pen tool and go like point by point, click by click. And it would take like 45 minutes to try to perfectly trace around hair and fingers. And it's like, wait, now you're telling me in Canva, I just push a button that says remove background, and in 4 seconds, it's done better than 45 minutes in Adobe? Like, that's not fair. But then it's like, oh, wait, what's that?
You guys get a little bit extra for that, though.
Like $20, right? If that, yeah. But even with Adobe, like I used to spend hundreds of dollars. I mean, it was,
I thought it was a one-time thing.
I think most of their stuff is on a subscription now,
Oh, wow.
but all in subscription, yeah.
Yeah, so not
like $80 a month. So
Yeah. But I think that teaches us a couple lessons. One, right? It's like adaptation. Like we have to adapt. If we're not using like AI in our business and we're not using automation and we're like, no, it's not broken. Like we're just going to keep doing the same things. Eventually it's going to be like Adobe and you're going to feel it. It's like, do you want to be right or do you want to grow? That? Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the creator brand. And then we go for the innocent brand. They stand for safety, Aveeno, Dove, innocent. They're optimistic, honest, humble. The most wholesome things in life are unadulterated and pure. Their drives are happiness, morality, simplicity, honesty, and positivity. Their fear is anguish, depravity, complexity, deceit, and negativity. The strategy is to display wholesome virtue and foster feel-good spirit. The innocent. And then we've got the sage. This is knowledgeable, assured, and guiding. The truth will set you free. Google, University of Oxford, BBC. Their drive is wisdom, intelligence, expertise, information, and influence. They fear ignorance, insanity, powerlessness, misinformation, inaccuracy. Their strategy is show the path to wisdom, and they celebrate lifelong learning. All right, then we've got the Explorer. This one's my favorite. And not just because it has the Jeep logo in there. This one stands for a lot of cool things. So the Explorer, they love freedom. Don't fence me in. It's exciting, fearless, and daring. You only get one life. Get out and make it count. Explorer brands are the North Face, Jeep, Patagonia. Their drive is adventure, exploration, the unknown, self-discovery, liberation. They fear confinement, immobility, entrapment, incarceration, cautiousness. Their strategy is to celebrate the journey and acknowledge modern confinements. What are some other Explorer brands that you guys can think of? Anything pop into your mind? Exciting, fearless, and daring.
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
Would like a space company word for that, like SpaceX or
Mhm. For sure, yeah. The new frontier. Yeah.
What about Subaru?
That's true. Absolutely. Yep. We can fit them in there right next to Jeep.
yeah, they have a few different slots too, though.
Mhm.
Kind of the what's the one with the safety?
The Camelback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's interesting is you could probably take any big brand and fit them into most of these categories. The only problem is when you don't have like a really polarizing one, it becomes a little bit of like a Frankenstein monster. Because I've done some workshops with companies and they're like, well, we're 15% this, 35% this. And at the end of the day, we've got to really come down to like, it's okay to be a mix of some of these, but where are you going to plant your flag? Right? Like think if Black Rifle Coffee Company, if they're like, well, we're kind of the everyman and we're kind of this and that. Like if they weren't bold and polarizing, they wouldn't be the brand they are today. Right? If Dale, when he was working on Badass Foundation, if he was like, well, you know, I don't want to be too offensive and maybe I want to be a little of that, it would just feel kind of like a watered down approach instead of just going all in and saying, hey, you know what? This is who I am. This is what I stand for. And I'm all in. And I think we all need to do that for our businesses because the people that we serve deserve to have that. We want to have people that are all in to help us achieve our goals, right? If Mr. David Adams over here was like halfway into helping me hit my goals and only delivered half the stuff, like that would suck for me. I need him to be all in on the high performance planner where I know, hey, every time I'm on a call with him, we're going through a very specific topic that's been curated, that he's going to deliver, and I know what the outcome is going to be because I've been through it. If he decided to like not do that and be kind of like half hybrid on a few things, it wouldn't be as impactful for me, right? And so I think that's important when we're going all in on what we're doing. Like we should be able to plant our flag in the ground of who we are and what we stand for. So this is the Explorer brand, and those are all of them. So I'm going to go back to this slide, and what I would love to do now for anyone that would like to share is maybe think about if there's one that really popped off this chart and you said like, I'm definitely this, or if there's a couple that you're thinking I'm kind of this and kind of that, I would love to hear that. And we'll pass around this guy for whoever wants to share. Cool. Got to figure out a better system for this. Sorry, hold on.
Sweet.